What is a hero? There is no archetype within which every hero falls, regardless of age, gender, nationality, skin color, sexual preference or religion. The underlying qualities of a hero can appear anywhere, and in anyone. Today we'll look at movie characters who died a hero's death. Miles Dyson, Terminator 2.
I don't know how much longer I can hold this.
She might have tried to terminate Cyberdyne Systems' top nerd as he unwittingly sowed the seeds for global thermonuclear at his home PC. But even a veteran cyborg killer like Sarah Connor can't begrudge Miles Dyson some credit. His nerves might occasionally falter, but the father of the apocalypse shows an iron resolve to make up for the mistakes he hasn't even made yet. Gripping the detonator in a moment of breathless heroism, he scares away the SWAT team before blowing Cyberdyne HQ and apparently averting the apocalypse. Jackson, Saving Private Ryan.
Jackson! You see that impact crater?
Yes, sir.
That should give you complete defilade from that machine gun position. Get in there and give me some fire.
In what is possibly the most memorable opening to any war film ever, Saving Private Ryan depicts the fate that befell thousands of American soldiers as they took to the shores of Omaha Beach on D-Day. As his comrades hugged the embankment in a chaotic maelstrom of Nazi mortars and MG-42 fire, Private Jackson, who caps Nazis with an evangelical enthusiasm, is the first to provide some welcome retaliation. Later, as he assumes a key position in Rommel's bell tower, Jackson inflicts heavy losses on the confused German forces below. Yet, things quickly turn totally foobar as his precarious vantage point becomes the prime target for an opportunistic German tank gunner. Bexy Bixel, The Firm. Arch-rival soccer firm the Buccaneers might have spray-painted his pants, keyed his Mondeo, and done a load of wheel spins around the local common while he was in the middle of a game, but ICC top boy Bexy is having none of it. The cash-wielding estate agent and his tight-knit crew of ex-servicemen, tradesmen, and schoolkids soon strike back with surgical precision, beating the albino enemy leader Yeti to a pathetic, bloodied pulp. Gary Oldman is at his most divinely psychotic in portraying the swaggering, enraged, practically rabid hooligan frontman. But despite all the drool and violence, he still retains an element of endearing cheekiness. Before getting blasted by an antique service revolver, a victorious Bexy can only chuckle as he looks down the barrel of the loaded gun, as if to say, "No need to be silly, we're all just having a laugh." Dilly, Predator.
Billy!
As he stares at foliage in bewildered terror whilst nervously clutching the emblem at his neck, Dilly is perhaps the first to grasp that the squad of super-elite special ops in Predator might be in above their heads. His increasingly strained nerves seem to break with the death of Dylan and, despite the pleas of his partner Dutch, Billy tosses his rifle and makes a last stand on a narrow log bridge. Drawing his commando knife, he cuts his chest in ritualistic fashion before an unperturbed Predator. Keen for a souvenir of this epic encounter, the Predator pays Billy the ultimate compliment by taking his head as a memento. Kikuchio, Seven Samurai. In Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, a hand-picked group of unemployed samurai warriors are recruited to protect a remote, farming community from a marauding group of bandits. Despite their superior skill and tactics, the samurai are heavily outnumbered and vulnerable in the face of early, 16th century firearms. The film culminates in a dramatic last stand in which the flamboyant Kikuchio, up to his knees in a quagmire of mud, fights off repeated cavalry charges. But as the samurai slowly turn the tables on their besiegers, the cornered bandit leader blasts a seemingly unstoppable Kikuchio with the last remaining musket. Yet, in true Bushido style, the mortally wounded hero staggers on regardless to cut down the last of the enemy before finally succumbing to his wound. Alex Murphy, Robocop.
Go ahead and do it. Dead or alive, you're coming with me.
Before meeting a death brutal enough to cause PTSD nightmares even in Robocop form, Alex Murphy finds himself alone in an abandoned steel mill and at the mercy of the cop-killing crime lord, Clarence Boddicker. Having previously witnessed the Detroit kingpin gleefully launch one of his own men out of moving vehicle, the cornered cop is under no illusions as to the gravity of this situation. Yet, Murphy doesn't pass up the opportunity to give it some verbal. As Boddicker struts in front of his giggling gang of enforcers and mockingly asks, "You probably don't think I am a very nice guy, do you?" A gallant Murphy retorts, "Buddy, I think you're slime." His subsequent execution might be brutal, but it becomes the precursor to a rampage of robotic revenge in which, as expected, Bodeker's behavior goes from bad to worse. Most notoriously, he sticks chewing gum on the desk of a bitchy OCP secretary and spits a juicy gob of blood right on poor Sarge's police report.
You probably don't think I'm a very nice guy, do you?
Buddy, I think you're slime.
Spoon, Dog Soldiers. In Dog Soldiers, an elite British Army squad find themselves out on training maneuvers back in those long-distant days when England could still decimate Germany 5-1 in a World Cup qualifier. After the majority of his comrades fall prey to a pursuing pack of werewolves, Private Spoon Witherspoon finds himself out of bullets and cornered in a kitchen. Rather than resigning himself to the inevitable, Spoon forces the salivating beast to work for its meal, first subjecting the 8-foot collie to a bombardment of pots, crockery, kitchen utensils and fists, before finally remarking, "I hope I give you the S, you foo ing wimp." The Taliban are just lucky he never made it to Afghanistan. Tony Montana, Scarface. After killing his best friend, kidnapping his sister, and declaring war on the entire Bolivian underworld, a dejected Tony Montana first locks himself in his room and then throws one of the biggest tantrums of any ill-tempered gangland hood in movie history, from Sonny Corleone to Jack Carter. Cunning is replaced by pure, cocaine-fueled brute force as Montana absorbs bullets, effortlessly massacres Bolivians, and seems to never run out of grenades. The world is all his and, in the ensuing battle, the Cuban kingpin makes a valiant effort to bring as much of it down with him as possible. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Superheroes are viewed as protectors of their city where they shield the innocent citizens from the formidable supernatural forces that destroy everything in their paths. In Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, the citizens believed that Superman might have gotten carried away with how much leisure he had as a superhero, or his missions caused severe destruction. Batman was determined to take down Superman. In this head-to-head battle, Superman ultimately lost his life after Doomsday wedged a spear through Superman right when Superman intended on killing Doomsday. Luckily, this wasn't the last time viewers were able to see Superman on screen. Spock in Star Trek: The Wrath of Khan. For those who aren't long-term fans of the Star Trek franchise, watching Captain James T. Kirk sacrifice himself, succumbing to radiation poisoning after restoring power to the warp drive, in Star Trek Into Darkness didn't bring back any painful memories. It was a completely new experience. However, what makes it land is that it deliberately mirrors the ending of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, when it's Leonard Nimoy's Spock who bites the bullet. With his last breath, the Vulcan human puts his parted hand to the engine room's glass and says,
"The needs of the many outweigh
the needs of the few.
or the one."
That was our show for today. What did you think? Did you find these characters to have heroic deaths? What was your favorite heroic death in movies? Let me know in the comments section below, and, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Also check out my Carl Vincent Vampire Hunter franchise in the comments below. Until next time, this is Andrew in for Kevin Given saying live long and prosper. May the force be with you and keep reaching for the stars.